Wendy's thoughts before the world gets loud. The sun came up over Atlanta at 7:06 a.m., and I could smell the drought in the pine needles before I saw the fire danger bulletin. What got under my skin is that an empire is losing on 3 continents at once, and the man running it is still calling it winning. Read it anyway. Pour something hot. Stay. This newsletter keeps its lights on because a few thousand people refuse to let it die. If the rent on your conscience came due this week, try. You're 28 days away from firmer, glowier skin. Aramore's MIT and Harvard co-founders developed a special complex to help boost back skin's NAD+, the molecule that controls how we age. Best part, you'll see results in just 1 skin cycle or 28 days. Start your skin transformation with 20% off. Use code NEWSLETTER20. Shop now and save table of contents. Roots before the storm. The ground beneath your feet. Weather and earth. The part that draws blood. The witness. What we carry from what we just read. The turning, where the breath comes back. The nurturing. Food as medicine. The breathing. Herbs. As curing the practice. Armor you can wear tomorrow. Heroes and bright signals. The ones who showed up and the proof. It's working, gathering history. The roll call of those who were here. First, the carrying. What your body knows. When you close this tab, Bianak Dayreath, a blessing for the road ahead. Who is in the gathering? The ground beneath your feet. Weather and Earth Atlanta. 87. Near record sun. Fire danger statement. The drought is a political document now, and the pines know it. Detroit. 72. Thunder and hail. The sky doing what the courts won't. Kansas City. 85. Gusty thunderstorms queuing for evening. Humid, bright, and the sirens haven't gone off yet. New York. 88. Upper level ridge. Humid Gulf air pumped up the Atlantic seaboard. April pretending to be July in a black silk dress. San Francisco. 70. North wind. Sunny. The rare afternoon when the fog takes a lunch break and the city notices its own shoulders. Miami. 79. Sun and cloud mixed. A cold front stalking Monday. The water is already warmer than your blood. Join the 5,000+ subscribers who read the Daily Exhale, the part that draws blood. 3 wars lost, 1 election exported and blown, and the Strait of Hormuz clotted like a femoral artery. This is the week Trump's empire stopped pretending it could count. The bloated grifter told reporters Saturday that it made no fucking difference whether America made a deal or not. Because we've won. First time here? Welcome to the Daily Gathering. Editor's note. Losing is a tell. The spray-tanned fascist has been one his whole goddamn life, and now the rest of us are paying the bar tab. The loser's math. Vance does not add up. J.D. Vance flew to Hungary to campaign for Viktor Orban and watch the opposition take a supermajority. In Tehran, the ceasefire reportedly required the U.S. to accept Iranian control of the Strait of Hormuz. At home, the truth-murdering buffoons said the quiet part. Whether we make a deal or not makes no difference, because we've won. What they said, will you stand for freedom, truth, and the God of our fathers? Stand for Viktor Orban. J.D. Vance, they did not. Matt Ford's piece in The New Republic names the machinery. Fascism is loser logic dressed in gold leaf, the grievance-fueled certainty the world cheated you of what your genes deserve. Trump covers the Oval Office in gold ornaments and plans a triumphal arch in Arlington, despite having won no wars. The bankruptcy-filing charlatan idolizes the Confederacy because defeat is his native language. The damage, human cost, at least 2,076 Iranian dead, 26,500 injured in a war the kleptocratic cabal started and cannot finish. Pattern, Orban worship abroad, heritage dictation at home, Strait of Hormuz shipping snarled, the global economy stabbed by a man who thinks a stab is a signature. Action. Call your senators. Demand hearings on the Iran casualty toll. You do this. Today. In the Kremlin, they are laughing. In Budapest, the opposition is measuring the curtains. New Republic microplastics are killing us. Baby formula, medical gear, etc. A premature infant in a neonatal ICU ingests up to 115 microplastic particles in 72 hours from her infusion circuits alone. The operating room where her mother delivered her sheds up to 925 to 8 particles per square meter per shift. These are numbers from a peer-reviewed paper laid beside another peer-reviewed paper in a report the Plastic Soup Foundation released Wednesday. Evidence: relationship breaking, cardiac catheters, silicone breast implants, IV bags, paint, baby formula, children's building bricks, the objects designed to sustain life, dose the body with PET, PVC, and polypropylene. The materials have always been ours. The damage is new. Scale: the report pulls from over 350 peer-reviewed studies across 5 exposure categories. Microplastics sit in human blood, placenta, testes, Everest snow, and the breast milk of women who never asked to be data. Expert voice: Martina Igini, writing for Earth. Org quotes the authors: a pervasive, abundant, invisible chemical mixture carrying storm beginning before birth. No regulator has acted. Industry lobbies the EPA to delay. The bipartisan addiction to plastic packaging is a political choice that arrives in your bloodstream as a fact. Action: switch to glass for drinking water. Filter tap through activated carbon. Pressure your state rep on the Plastic Pellet Free Waters Act. Earth: Org Eastman has been disbarred. Good riddance to bad trash. The California Supreme Court struck John Eastman from the roll of attorneys Wednesday, the bow-tied law professor who tried to hand Mike Pence a pen and a plan to void an election. A $5,000 sanction. A 5-year fight. One modicum of accountability against a man the authoritarian wannabe tyrant already pardoned federally. Stakes. Pattern: Eastman was a clerk for Clarence Thomas and dean of Chapman Law School until 160 faculty signed a letter demanding his ouster. Timeline: 2020 memo, January 6th. Bar complaint, 2023. Disbarment recommendation, 2024. Final order, April 15th, 2026. The court denied his petition in silence. That's the elegance. And then the BBC published an undercover probe revealing a shadow industry of UK law firms charging migrants up to $2,500 to fake gay asylum claims, staged photographs, fabricated medical reports, coached stories, 17-year-old scams. What the fuck does this cost actual queer people fleeing for their lives? Everything. Every real Ugandan lesbian, every Pakistani trans woman with screws holding her jaw together, now meets a Home Office officer trained to doubt her. Fraud is a weapon aimed at the people fraud pretends to impersonate. Movement: support Rainbow Railroad. They vet and evacuate genuine LGBTQ plus asylum cases worldwide. Rainbow Railroad. To exist as queer is to be asked, over and over, to prove it. And still we walk into the room. Don't miss our daily news digest. Have it delivered every morning. The Witness: what we carry from what we just read. Attention is the beginning of devotion. Mary Oliver, Upstream. Selected essays, Penguin Press, 2016. Survival wisdom: how you carry this forward. Oliver wrote that sentence in a book about walking through woods she had walked for 50 years. She meant it as craft. We inherit it as survival. When a regime floods the feed with lies, and the microplastics arrive in the placenta, and the lawyers try to sell queer identity by the kilogram, the discipline that saves you is noticing. Precisely, slowly, without flinching. Devotion begins where performance ends. What did you notice today that you did not have the courage to name until a poet made you look? The turning: where the breath comes back, sit down. Put both feet flat on the floor and feel the temperature of the room enter through your soles. Spring is here, but the floor is still cool. Let that fact land in the bones. The news has done what it came to do. The jaw is tight. The shoulders have crawled toward the ears. Inhale, breath, is the oldest medicine the body owns, and it is always available, even when nothing else is. The mind wants to keep arguing with the headlines, and it can, later, after the body has been allowed back into the room. Thathu subhilte andrasta, you are safe right now, which is a small claim and the only honest one available. The nurturing: food, as medicine asparagus, roast at 425 on a sheet pan, olive oil, coarse salt, 12 minutes. The tips should char, the stems should still creak under the knife. This is the week the ground actually warms. Eat it. Sprout garlic at home. Store-bought garlic, wet paper towel, jar, windowsill. 8 days to green shoots. One head, $1, one season of sovereignty. Pantry quick meal, lemon caper anchovy orecchiette, olive oil, garlic, anchovy, shallot capers, lemon parsley orecchiette. 9 minutes feeds 4, 7 cart total. Nobody goes to bed hungry in this house because the week was hard. The breathing, herbs, as curing motherwort, Leonuris cardiaca. Pharmacology, leonurine and stachydrine, slow erasing heart without sedating the brain. Vagal pathway, cardiovascular and nervine simultaneously. Use, tincture, 2-4 ml in warm water, up to 3 times daily during acute political panic. Caution, never combine with warfarin, digoxin, or beta blockers. Skip during pregnancy. It's a uterine stimulant by design. Cleavers, gallium aperine. Pharmacology, cool, moving, lymphatic decongestant, for a body storing what it cannot yet expel. Use, fresh juice infusion. Blend green tops with cold water. Strain, drink 4 Oz on an empty stomach. Caution, diabetics, monitor glucose. Cleavers can lower it. Avoid with diuretic medications. Milky oats, avena sativa. Pharmacology, trophor restorative for a nervous system scorched thin. Rebuilds the myelin the adrenals burned through. Use, tincture from fresh milky seed only. 3 Tucker 5 ml, twice daily, minimum 6 weeks. Caution, gluten-sensitive folks need certified gluten-free source. Effect is slow. Don't expect a rescue. The practice, armor you can wear tomorrow. We are the ones we have been waiting for. June Jordan, Poem for South African Women, 1978, reprinted and directed by Desire, Copper Canyon 2005. Moving forward, your armor for today. Jordan wrote that line for women who had marched on Pretoria in 1956, 20,000 of them, refusing pass laws. She meant it as an instruction, not a koan. The cavalry is you. The phone call you've been meaning to make is you. The fundraiser you keep scrolling past is fucking you. No one is coming. That is the good news. It means you cannot be stopped by their absence. What are you willing to lose to keep the thing you say you love? Heroes and bright signals. The ones who showed up and the proof. It's working. They are not saints. They are the ones who kept working. Mary Oliver wrote 21 books of poetry in a lifetime, spent mostly walking the Provincetown dunes with Molly Malone Cook, her partner of 40 years. She won the Pulitzer in 1984 and kept her ordinary hours until the last month she was breathing. June Jordan published 28 books across poetry, essay, and libretto, and founded Poetry for the People at UC Berkeley in 1991. Marlon Riggs made Tongues Untied in 1989 on a $5,000 grant, a documentary so volatile PBS stations refused to air it. He died of AIDS at 37 with 3 more films finished against the clock. 3 people who paid attention. That is the whole assignment. Bright signals. Iceland approved. 34 new permissible first names this quarter. 2 of them gender neutral, pushed through by the country's Queer Youth Council. Scandinavian cities are planting Hylocomium splendens moss along highways. It stores heavy metals in its cell walls without dying. Rainbow Railroad assisted 3,200 LGBTQ plus asylum cases in 2025, the highest annual number in its history. Gathering history, the roll call of those who were here. First, the District of Columbia emancipated 3,100 enslaved people, April 16, 1862. Bayard Rustin organized the March on Washington, 1963. Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera founded STAR, 1970. The Combahee River Collective issued its statement, 1977. ACT UP stormed the FDA, 1988. The Supreme Court ruled for Obergefell, 2015. The ancestors are not watching from above. They are the bones the present is built on, and they are working through us, or they are not. The choice is